Now we'll go into the armhole. You'll see in the middle of the armhole there's a series of dots labeled front arm side point number 1 and a lower series labeled full bust measurement front arm side point number 2. Well, we're going to start off with point number 2 and we're going to find the specific area on the designing stylus that says dress kit point number 2. So when you hold your stylus with the words facing you, you come down this long curvy edge to the bottom arrowhead, and that says match to front arm side point number 2 on the dress pattern. So I'm going to take that arrowhead and put it into dot number 2 and pivot in to her personalized shoulder point. And then I will draw around in this fashion. Now what's happening in the shoulder line, as I remove the stylus, you can see it automatically shortened and got rid of some of that excess fabric that you don't need in the top of your shoulders if you're short-shouldered. Whereas if you were broad-shouldered, this would come out to your wider dot, you'd connect to dot number 2, and then you can see how much extra you are actually picking up in the shoulder area. So you're always blueprinting to your body. One other thing that I want to point out is that when you connect from dot number 2 to your personalized shoulder point, depending on how narrow or how broad you are, the stylus may or may not go through arm side point number 1. So don't worry about that. If it doesn't go through it, that's fine in this circumstance. Now, if you happen to be larger than, about 44, 45, 46 inches around in your bust line, then what I'm going to recommend that you do is utilize the arm side template. There are 3 templates, additional templates that are found in your dress kit, and this is the first one that I'd like to talk about. It's called the arm side template, and it's for the fuller bust cup sizes. And it says on the template sizes 48 to 62, which is 122 centimeters up to 157.5 centimeters. But quite actually, when you start drawing off this armhole, anywhere after about the number 42 or 43, you can go into using this arm side template because it's going to prevent having what I call a flip up at the underarm point. So when we look at this template, holding it with the words facing you, come down the curvy edge, there's one arrowhead on here, and it says match to front arm side point number 1, sizes 48 to 62. So now I'm going to take that arrowhead, put it into dot number 1, pivot to the personalized shoulder point, and then pivot up to expose the underarm point. So as your size gets larger, like this, you're going to get a nice smooth underarm curvature here rather than a dramatic flip, which could happen using the designing stylus because that's just an anomaly of how this tight curve finishes upward. So that's why you're going to find this accessory template in your dress kit. The next thing that we need to do is measure down from shoulder to apex and shoulder to waist. Again, you'll recall that that was 2 lengths that I measured on Lisa's body. And I started that measurement on her body in the middle of the shoulder line, which is what I'm going to do on the pattern. And she was 11 inches long up to her bust level. And so there's the 11 inches on the tape measure. And she was 20 inches long to her waist level. And the tape measure is flopping in front of me. There's a 20-inch mark right there. So she's got a fairly long torso, and part of that's due to her quite full bust. The next thing that I'm going to do is mark in the shoulder to apex measurement. I didn't mean shoulder to apex, I meant apex to apex measurement. If you recall on Lisa, I measured from bust point to bust point, and then I took that measurement and divided it in half. And that is because we're working on half a pattern. Her half apex width measurement was 5 inches. And I'm just going to extend that line out a little bit further there so you can see my crisscross. So what I've done is I've taken the 0 edge of the tape measure, put it on center front, and come out at the level of her apex, and at 5 inches, I'm going to make a crisscross mark. And I think that you'd all agree with me that that is Lisa's apex. You could be up here, over there, down here, in here, out here, anywhere around in there, couldn't you? Because it all depends on the length and the width of your bust points and where your crisscross happens on your pattern. So then the next thing to do is put in the bra cup size to fit you properly. I'm sure that all of you are aware that about 95% of our commercial patterns available in the marketplace today have a B-cup dart in them. So if you're anything other than a B-cup dart, you've got problems. The A-cup people have all the excessive fabric in the front that they don't need. The C's, D's, double D's, and E's, well, of course, you know what they need to do, that tedious full bust adjustment. Well, no more with SureFit Designs. With SureFit Designs, we have a very special template, and it's called the Adjust-A-Bust template. I'm going to put it down here where the paper doesn't have any writing underneath it so that you can really see what the Adjust-A-Bust template looks like. There is a series of dots that go beside each bra cup size, and there are 6 different bra cup sizes. A, B, C, D, double D, and E. And as I said, there's little dots or little holes beside each of those bra cup sizes, and you just are going to mark through the dot holes that represent your bra cup size. This is the top leg of the dart, the fold line of the dart, and the bottom leg of the dart. All right, now Lisa happened to be a double D, so I'm going to take the double D dart, that little hole, and I'm going to place it over top of the bust grading series of dots like this. Then I'm going to take this template, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm just pivoting from that dot right here, and I'm pivoting until the fold line goes right through her apex. Let me just do another quick example before I start marking this in. Let's say that you were 42 inches around, but let's say that you had a B-cup dart. You'd use the little hole where it says B, and then you'd aim the fold line towards your apex. Now you never ever want your apex, your dart, to stitch right up to the tip of your apex. That wouldn't look very flattering. So on this template, there are little holes that are punched out approximately 1/2 inch apart, and you're going to mark back about 1 inch to 1.5 inches to indicate the end of your dart stitching tip. So let me get this back in position for Lisa. She's a double D. I'm going to aim the fold line right through her apex. Then I'm going to mark off the side legs of the dart like this, and then going up to the apex, there is a marking, or the little hole right there where I've put a mark through, and when I take that away, that's going to indicate the tip of her dart. So now all I need to do is connect together the top leg, the fold line, and the bottom leg of the dart. And the dart is now pointing to her apex. It's in the correct width, which happens to be a double D. And I'm going to connect the side edges of the dart together, and it's completely finished. That's going to be one of the easiest, best fits that you've ever got for a full-busted lady by utilizing the dart template. One other thing that I would like to say about the dart template